This is going to be part 2 of my boutique Blu-ray collection. Part 1 turned out to be a little longer than I expected because I kind of just lingered around and talked a little much. But that was showing off my Nova Media collection and a few of my odd ones like Arrow and a few Criterion Blu-rays that I have. And I needed a break because I'm under the weather. I needed to go get a drink. So featuring my Snoopy mug in this video. So I'll try not to make this as long, but this is part 2, and this is showing off the other half of my high-end Blu-rays. So Eureka and 88 Films, which I have quite a bit of 88 Films stuff, and not quite as much for Eureka. And I think because I'm a bigger Jackie fan, and the 88 seems like they focus on Jackie, and Eureka focuses on Samo. So, first come, what I usually tend to buy is any Jackie release I usually pre-order. And Samo, I love Samo, however, I can't always afford to buy more than one at a time, and sometimes I have to let the Eurekas go for right now. So I guess I'll start with Eureka and show those since there are less. So I'll start with none other than Sammo Hung's this is a really cool set. This is Sammo Hung's triple films set, and that would be 3 films of Sammo Hung: Eastern Condors, Magnificent Butcher, and The Iron-Fisted Monk. And here's the reversible art for Magnificent Butcher, which I think is pretty cool. I love old promotional posters and original Chinese posters, Hong Kong posters. I love them. And most of the time they were characters. But this is sort of like a drawn picture, and it's not made to be funny, I don't think, like a lot of Sammos would be for like Lucky Stars and so on. But I just have an admiration for these and the way everything's laid out. I always thought that it was the coolest thing. I'd love to just have a book, like a 1,000-page book with just obscure posters, all Hong Kong movies, anything like that. I think it's awesome. And this has 3 discs, so you get all 3 movies on their own disc. There's the Iron-Fisted Monk's original poster. And here, the poster behind this disc is an awesome poster of Eastern Condors with Joyce Gadenzi, Sammo's wife, who I believe he married after he met her filming this movie. And Yumbu with that the original styled hair that a lot of people had after this movie came out. But that is a worthy set. If I had to pick my favorite out of these movies, I think it's Eastern Condors, because I'm more of not just an action film fan, like with a standard action film, because I love martial arts movies. But if I had to pick, I think Eastern Condors, out of these 3 would happen to be my favorite. Then maybe the Magnificent Butcher. I don't know. I kind of compare these two, because Magnificent Butcher is based on, I believe, Wong Fei-hung, and pretty much any movie with Wong Fei-hung that I've seen, especially the famous ones, when Jet Li portrayed him, and Jackie, I tend to love those. So, but this is a good set. It is Region B. And this is long before they started doing dual regions or standard editions overseas, because now I believe Eureka works with Arrow. So if this is ever going to get a release here, I think Arrow will get it. And because I know Magnificent Butcher, or no, excuse me, I know that Millionaires Express happens to be getting an Arrow release. And I actually have the Eureka unopened because I've only seen this movie once and I haven't watched this. I don't know what my problem is. So I need to actually sit and watch it again. I've only seen it one time, and I own 2 Blu-rays and a Laserdisc and a VHS. And now another Blu-ray is coming out from Arrow. And if it has more than 1 or 2 extra features, I'll probably buy it because I'm a features fan. I love special features, and this is the one that had the limited edition disc. This is one of my first Eureka purchases. Actually, probably my first. And so, pretty heavy set. Comes with the poster, but I know this is a limited run. Now, I'm not sure if the Arrow video will have any of the limited stuff from the bonus disc here, because I believe that set will have sort of a limited disc. So, we'll see in due time when I get more, when that gets closer to release date, I guess, or pre-order date. I'm not sure if it's up for pre-order yet, but who knows, I might get that and have 5 copies of the movie. So, another film, Wheels on Mills. Probably the, well, this is 1984, so I'm guessing, technically, this is the second movie that Yuen Bu, Jackie Chan, and Sammo Hung all were the main actors for. First would be Project Day, which I don't actually have the Eureka set for that. But they would do this, which would be their second, and then their third would be Dragons Forever, which Dragons Forever is my favorite of the 3. And I think that's partially due because I actually enjoy the fight scenes in that movie overall a bit more. I love the soundtrack to that more. I love the locations. Hong Kong. I just have always loved the location of Hong Kong, especially in the 80s and the 90s movies. And so that one appeals to me more. This is loaded with features. Again, this is Eureka. It's a Jackie, Sammo, Yuen Bu movie. So it's not specifically Jackie, and I know that Eureka put out a few Jackie movies, but they take a lot of Sammo movies and put them out. But this is one of the ones that Jackie was in. I luckily got the book, and you got that awesome, famous photo of the 3 dragons. And that's actually the, if I reach up on my shelf, that is the DVD cover for the Universal Laser. It's sort of the same cover anyway. And we have come a long way from those DVDs to 2022, where we're at now, toward the end and of 2022, and we have a ton to look forward to even in the next year, up for pre-order, things that have been announced. It's only getting, better for these releases. So here's the book. It's always good if you get the first run, you get the book, and if there's a poster, you usually get the poster or the lobby cards. The book is where it's at, because you're getting artwork, unless you're a poster junkie, and I kind of love posters, but I'd take the book over the poster. If you get the poster, cool. If you get the first run, at least you get the booklet, and that's a huge feature within itself, because there's a lot to learn. And this is when they were doing the when it's wrapped in its plastic from the distributor. You can just easy open, poke, tear the plastic off. But it's Wheels on Mills. And I might as well show the, keeping on with Samo, because I have, excuse me, The Odd Couple, still sealed. Now, I was buying these because I didn't have a region-free player yet, and just a blank side. I finally do, so I'm slowly getting through these, but I wanted to secure the movies because those are a lot of the time harder to get. They go up in price. They're limited editions, some of them. So what I was doing was I was just buying them all and just kind of hoarding them until I finally took a big chunk of money, bought my player, and now I've been slowly. Last night I actually watched an 88's films. First watch for that movie, and one of the pretty dang good release, because it's stacked with features, and I'll get to that in a minute. But Odd Couple, so I'm going to wait until have a little marathon for Samo's birthday for some of the ones I've seen that I love and the ones I haven't, including Odd Couple. Now I've seen these because I have the Fox DVD releases of these, but I haven't opened this set yet, and I love Warriors too. So out of the 70s movies, Iron Fisted Monk, Magnificent Butcher, excuse me, I think that Warriors 2 is the better. I even like it more in Prodigal Son. Not to take away from that movie, but out of these two, I definitely pick Warriors 2. I think it's my first watch for that movie was what I expected it to be, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'm glad that it finally got its Blu-ray release. I know about a year ago I made a video talking about my Fox DVDs, and no sooner did I upload that video saying that I wished this had a Blu-ray, next day this was announced, or I found out about it, and I was excited. So it's going to have the features, and it has looks like a poster. So that is the double feature Samo. And then I recently got this. This is Hapkido and Lady Whirlwind double feature, the Angela Mal set, and Sammo Hung, Carter Wong, Chang Yi, and Pai Ying. And Samo is in both, I believe. He's in Lady Whirlwind as well. But I think he just has a small credit in that. Hapkido, he's actually is one of the main actors. And here's the back, stacked with features once more. And I believe Arrow's put this one out recently, because Eureka and Arrow have a thing going on. Comes with the poster, so I'm not going to fold out the poster. I don't have much room for filming here. And I was excited. I have a Shout DVD. Shout DVD. It's a double feature. But I thought, well, at least now they have their Blu-ray releases with credible features, and it's very nice to actually have something more to offer these movies. So Angela Mal, I love that color scheme for this picture here. Awesome. Angela Mal, such an underrated Asian cinema heroine. So, yeah, it'd be awesome to meet her one day, go to New York, and kind of help her with actually having a sit-down dinner at her restaurant in New York, which I think is a cool thing. She runs a restaurant in New York City, I think. So, yeah, if I ever meet her, I probably would have her autograph the poster that's in here. That or something from Enter the Dragon, which she was featured in. So, and that's the Angela Mal set. Another Eureka double feature that now has an Arrow release double feature. That's Running Out of Time 1 and 2. The first has Andy Lau. I absolutely love Andy Lau. He's right up there with Jackie in my book, because here in the States I think he is just as good in different ways. I'm not trying to take away from any of the other superstars, but I think Andy Lau is definitely underrated here in the States. He doesn't get his credit. He did an American movie, The Great Wall. I actually enjoyed it. Got to go see it, so I've seen an Andy Lau movie in theaters. I'd love to see him in concert. He's a great singer, just the same as a great actor, and anytime I can put him on a spotlight, I will, because if I'm the only person doing it, he needs somebody in his corner, because he's not getting a lot of attention here. So, excuse me. Loaded with features. Now, I haven't seen either of these, so I am looking forward to it, and I believe he won Best Actor for this. I believe so, and he did a song for the movie, which is cool. Great song. So, Running Out of Time 1 and 2. And I'm slowly getting through these, the ones I haven't seen, so I'll eventually get there. But that's one of the great things, that I have a stockpile of these now that I have a player. I slowly going through them. This is a blind buy, Raining in the Mountains. The poster art, the title, and the era it was filmed in all appealed to me. So I actually bought this, I think, for $10. And this is a King Hu film, who is a very influential director in the 60s and 70s. I'm not sure when this movie came out, maybe early 70s, 71. I may be wrong, but that's Raining in the Mountain. He also directed A Touch of Zen, and I think Dragon Inn, and so I'm looking forward to this. It actually looks like a pretty good movie. So not much to know about that right now. And pretty much the one standalone Jackie movie I have from Eureka. And that is Police Story 3, Super Cop. So I have the Criterion set of the 1 and 2, and now I have Eureka's Super Cop. So if I can, I will get the Eureka 1 and 2. And I will hopefully, possibly, because I don't double dip a lot on releases unless the features are definitely worth it. And but I think the 88 might have put this out in Region A. I think it's coming out in January. So it'd be nice to have a Region A set and a Region B set to kind of fulfill like a complete collection. So I'll base it on the features, I think. But I haven't opened this one up and watched it, but it's loaded with features, and it finally got its standalone. I know 1 and 2 got a box set from Eureka, so that's Super Cop. And my last... Oh, I guess that is my last Eureka. I was mistaken. This is 88 films. So I might as well start with... Well, I'll save this. I'll do the non-Asian cinema 88 films. And I'll start with those. Okay. First off, we have a popular Chuck Norris title, Invasion USA. My, it takes place around Christmas. And the back, it's reversible art. It's pretty much the same as it just has the 88 logo minus the rating for the UK. That's Invasion USA. It's cool to have because it does come with features that my DVD didn't. And I I think this might have another Blu-ray from another company with features, but I'm not quite sure. But I do have this for the features, and it's always great to have a Chuck Norris movie get features, because for the longest time they didn't. But that's Invasion USA. Cyborg, Van Damme's Cyborg, directed by the recently late Albert Pune. May he rest peacefully. This is my favorite movie of his, and he's done quite a bit of film, and he recently passed away, and this has to be my favorite of his films. Now, I've never seen his director's cut, but I will say I love the soundtrack for Cyborg, and I have heard the rejected score for the director's cut, and I also really like that soundtrack. But I've never seen the director's cut film. This is the Van Damme, from what I understand, this is the Van Damme and Sheldon Lettich edit of the movie, which was the final version shown in theaters. And I didn't get a slipcase, but the slipcase, I believe, is just like this. So anyway, that's Cyborg. I love the, they give you the year 1989 on the side, on the spine there. They went through a decent amount of Van Damme movies, so hopefully we can get another run of Van Damme. So some of his maybe direct-to-video movies like Desert Heat and Until Death, Wake of Death, some things like that. One of my favorites, an underrated Jean-Claude Van Damme film, Maximum Risk. This takes place around Christmas as well. But here's the slipcover. So Cyborg had its slip. I would have got this sort of a slipcover. I like because it's limited, and I got 122 out of 3,000. So that's cool. Again, 1996 with the year. A photo from the film. This has an audio commentary, and it has the booklet. I wish I had a few more features, but I can't complain because it has a poster. It has a cool booklet. So I'm happy to have that. So, and out of all the Van Damme movies, I got Cyborg recently, so it doesn't have any contents inside or the slipcover. But I wanted this movie and the next Van Damme movie I'm going to show, because these are two underrated movies. I think Maximum Risk is underrated, and it's one of the final like heyday Van Dammes. So I definitely wanted that. And one that I think is criminally underrated, and that's Legionnaire. I love this movie, and I'm happy that it finally got its Blu-ray. I know that I think one was in Spain, or a Spanish Blu-ray, with an alternate cover, which is cool. But I'm happy we got this one. This one's numbered 1672 out of 3,000. This actually has some features, more than Maximum Risk did. Again, cool booklet. You get a poster. You know, there's the poster. And like I always say, you know, the booklet's just as much of a special feature as a documentary. Well, non-extensive documentaries obviously got a lot more to offer, but a booklet's just as important. For various reasons. I like the way the disc is lined out too. It's really cool. And then the alternate cover is pretty much what's on the disc. That format, that font, that coloring. That's Legionnaire. I love that. I grew up with this one. And I always, promoted this one. And it's one of my favorites. So, now we'll get into the second half of this video, which is 88 films. And I'll start with the one Jet Li film they released. The Master. Underrated movie. Choi Hark directed. It's dinged up, unfortunately. But at least I do have the slipcase. The alternate cover on the inside. And it's got the poster. And the lobby cards. Which I still haven't taken out of the thing. And they have a picture of Jet from the end of the movie. Well, kind of like a portrait drawing. But I really like this movie. I grew up with this one on Dimension home video. I had the VHS tape. And I got the Cameron Ronson Hong Kong Blu-ray. And I really want them to start releasing more Jet Li. I don't know if there's a license thing going on. But at least we have this. It's got some features. And I know that the Eureka put out the Once Upon a Time in China original trilogy, the first 3. So other than those and this, we didn't really get any Jet Li. And at least we got the Master, something that's maybe lesser known. You know, we need some others. Any of his 80s movies, I would love for it. Well, I guess technically Arrow put out their Shaw Brothers set, which has Martial Arts of Shaolin. And I know I would certainly love a Shaolin Temple trilogy in a box set from, Jet Li's films. And I would love to have Dragon Fight, an underrated 80s Jet Li movie, contemporary Jet Li movie. So, I might as well show, start in with the Jackie movies, since I have a ton of those. And, let's see. So, I'll show off this. I have Dragons Forever, the original 88 release, the first one they released. I love the alternate artwork on this. Kind of like Christmassy with the red and green tint. The three leading ladies. Well, Crystal Kwok is not in the movie as much as the other, but she's also in The Master, actually, with Jet Li. So it's definitely this is my favorite of the 3 Dragons films. If you count Project A, Wills on Mills, and Dragons Forever, I would choose Dragons Forever every day. And a lot of that's largely due to the fights and the setting. The setting is so important because it kind of, it's kind of a character within itself. Excuse me. So here's the book. I love these posters. That's like an alternate poster for the movie. So, another one of those, kind of like Jet Li's portrait from the lobby cards. This is Benny the Jet from this movie. I actually have this in the player because I watched it last night. Disc 1, which has Hong Kong version and the features. And I watched the movie. And then I watched the features. It was on disc 1. Disc 2 has the Japanese cut and the old English dub. It's not the same English dub I'm used to, though, which is funny. So I'm not sure which version I have. Different voices, different words. But this has the Japanese cut, which has the Japanese soundtrack, which you can barely see back here. Cyclone Z, the soundtrack. I have a CD of that. And Dragons Forever, loaded with features. This is probably, I think right around when this was coming out is when I first heard of, I somehow didn't hear of Dragons Forever, or 88 Films until I saw this edition coming out, and I said, what is this company? Must have been behind on my paying attention. So, that's Dragons Forever. And I also have Dragons Forever. the steelbook with the slip. So now it's pretty much just a, I mean, I don't know the difference between the features, but it is cool to have a steelbook. It's got that famous photo of the three. It's got a poster. And oh, this is Jackie looking up at the fish while the fish are swimming in the tube. Right here. That's the back of this. But that's the steelbook for Dragons Forever, which I got before I got the standard edition. Just like Nova Media with the slip. And you got 3 dragons' names. And then Jackie with that on the back. So, it's nice that it has all 3 of the versions of the movie on here. So, anyway, that's the steelbook. And now, as far as features are concerned, I'm not sure the differences between the original 88, the steelbook, and what's going to be on the 4K and Region A releases, but if anything else, it's at least a steelbook edition. So now I have countless editions of Dragons Forever. I like Shanghai Express, well, Millionaire's Express, which I guess I have the Dragon Dynasty Shanghai Express. So I have 5 copies of that movie. So that's Dragons Forever. I will show these off. I haven't watched these yet, but I do have them. Killer Meteors. Now I've seen this movie because I have the DVD, the older DVD from the TriStar. So I like it. And Jimmy Wong Yu and Jackie Chan in the movie. They were in The Prisoner, aka Island of Fire. But they're kind of going against each other. They were also in Fantasy Mission Force together, and they fought at the end. Great fight, great ending, and I love that movie, and I love the soundtrack. So hopefully that gets a release at some point. And here's Half-Life Kung Fu, still sealed. I usually open movies when I watch the movies. So, and now that I'm moving through these, I'm opening them and watching. That's a cool, like, light blue and yellow. It's kind of just a cool font. But those are 2 Jackie movies. I bought this one used, so I don't have a slip. I don't have any contents. This Shaolin Wood and Men, which I've seen quite a few times growing up. I have a DVD of it. Love the artwork on the original poster. But I haven't watched this edition yet, so, or the features, obviously. So, we'll get there. That's 88 Films release of Shaolin Wood and Men. And I have my first 88 Films order, which was the Young Master box. Couldn't have passed on this. This is one of my top 5 favorite Jackie movies. And it actually comes with this the poster and a legitimate book, which they've been doing for a lot, but so much to offer in here. Now this is probably the best feature on this is probably the best feature on the whole set. If I had to pick something, I'd rather have something extensive like this over the poster, over lobby cards, because it's just, there's a lot going into this release. And aside from the book, you actually get the Blu-ray itself, which has 2 discs. It does come with the replica lobby cards of the original lobby cards. So, and you actually get reversible art, with the original Hong Kong poster as the reversible art. Which I'm glad that's a thing that everyone focuses on, because why not? Have a clear case, you can see it if it's just an alternate shot of the movie, or just reverse the art for the artwork. But this is probably, the Young Master is probably the master set that 88's done, in my opinion. It's extensive. Maybe that's because I love the movie. I'm just excited that they did that. But it's definitely worth its, worth every penny I paid for it. Now, there's a standard release of that. Comes with a slipcover. It just doesn't have the poster, the beautiful book, or the lobby cards, or the actual thick box, outer box. And this has an outer box. Armor of God has the same setup. Awesome looking book. Now, I've seen unboxings of this. I haven't opened this to watch this one yet, but definitely given the huge treatment for this movie. I kind of wish that Operation Condor had got this same treatment, but unfortunately it didn't. But it does have features. So, and this has tons of stuff on it. So, hours of features. So, Armor of God. And that does it for my Jackie movies. So, I'll move on to On the Run, Yuen-biu. I just watched this one last night. Pretty good movie, actually. Really enjoyed it. There's some violent scenes in it. For a Yuen-biu movie, it's more dramatic with some fights, and the fights were kind of brutal at points. Rather bloody, and but overall the movie was good. Comes with the lobby cards. Comes with that reversible poster, the Hong Kong poster, where you don't need the credits because you got the credits on the slipcase. But and you get them right here in the back. But this movie was so hard to find. The Media Asia DVD and the Delta Mac DVDs, those were so hard to find, and when you did find them, they were too expensive. Because it was so hard to get, it's finally, this is the best way to get it. Best features. Comes with that wonderful book, a poster, on. Another book like the Young Master book. I love the color scheme, that purpley pink color. It's pretty cool. You get the other alternate films, I think the director did, Albert Chung. And cast does good in this. And get that cool poster. Wouldn't mind hanging that one on my wall. But when they go out of their way to do a set like this, it's always exciting to see that, well, it's going to get a deluxe edition. Supposedly Snake and Crane Arts is coming out, and it says deluxe edition, but so far I haven't seen anything feature-wise, or other than just what the front cover looks like, not what the case is going to look like. So hopefully it gets something like this, because I love Snake and Crane Arts of Shaolin. That's On the Run. Watched it last night and loved it. Another Yuen-biu, Takeshi Kenshiro, and Yeonhwa. Yeonhwa is also in On the Run, but he's in here with the other two in Hero. This is actually a dual region. This region A and B, as you can see right here. So you can play this. I actually was able to watch this one before I got my region free player because it's region A. And I had seen this once a few years back. Really liked it. Love the atmosphere. It takes place in China during like a bitter winter. And back in, I believe, the 30s or late 20s. But the alternate poster for Hero. And then you get none other than a book and a poster, alternate double-sided poster with the new art and the old art. I like the way that the booklet looks. I love the color schemes that they go with for some of these. They're just very, very good. And this is a one of Shaw Brothers films to come out in the 90s, late 90s, 1997, I believe. And this is actually closer to the end of what I know as them running, doing movies, productions. So it's got the Shaw Brothers logo on the bottom. And then I know they did Drunken Monkey in the early 2000s. And there's the man, Yumbu. And that's Hero. One of my favorites, actually. As a movie not starring alongside Yumbu with Sammo and Jackie, I would say, other than the movies they're all in together, Hero is one of my probably top 5s for him. And I got another dual region with the Chinese boxer. I watched, this was my first 88 films watch ever. Watched this a few months back, and it's A and B. And again, see the snow. It's kind of nice that I can watch this again coming up soon, because it is getting cold out there in December, and it'll be snowing before you know it. Love the original poster, if I haven't said that enough. Chinese boxer. Features, poster, book, alternate art. Jimmy Wong Yu, may he rest in peace. He was definitely one of my favorites growing up, and sadly he's gone, but at least his films are here to stay. And I have one of the only Andy Lau releases, Casino Tycoon, which I wish they would have released part 2 as well. And I would love more Andy Lau. Can't complain when you always get an Andy Lau movie on Blu-ray. Again, cool art and alternate artwork. And watched this one this year on his birthday. And I like the this actually has a commentary with Bay Logan, who's one of the best in commentaries, because he's so informative. I know 88 uses a bunch of different guys, and they're all good, not to take away from them, but the original one for me was always Bay Logan, because I grew up with his either documentaries or featurettes. Dragon Dynasty, he was doing a lot of locations, featurettes and commentaries on those. So I'd love to hear his, if he could always do a commentary for any movie, I would listen to it. And I really enjoy commentaries in themselves, especially when somebody keeps you talking and talking and talking, and there's a lot to learn from these guys that do it. And a random buy for me, The Seventh Curse. Now, I didn't buy this limited edition box. It comes in the big box with the book and the posters and all that. I just got the standard release, which I opened from the top. And not going to open it because I think there's some it's not appropriate enough to show, so there's no point in opening the case. But the inside is just alternate art. I guess this is close, but I don't know, the movie had good practical effects. The main monster at the end is pretty cool. And it's a cross between what I would say is Predator and Alien, and a bat with wings, right? And Chow Yun-fat is also in that, and he has one of the best scenes in the movie toward the end. So another one I have that not even sure why. This has a lot of good practical effects, but as you can see, I haven't even opened this. That's Erotic Ghost Story. So it's kind of it's category 3 for the content. But I did watch this on YouTube once, and I enjoyed the. There's like a wolf and things. Not a wolf. I guess there's a demon in there at some point. But I really enjoyed the practical effects in that one too. So, if nothing else, those 2 movies for the practical effects would be cool. Speaking of practical effects, none other than Eureka, the story of Ricky. I don't know how to explain this movie other than just whoever hasn't seen it, just watch anybody on talking about it, because it's just a wild movie, and it's very famous for the humor and the way they put the humor on screen, and the practical effects in this. But 30 years old this year, 1992. Comes with a book with Caged Fury, which I think was the alternate title in some region. But that's Ricky O. I recently watched this, so when I bought this, I hadn't opened it yet anyway. So, but I watched it more recently. And so it's nice to have a deluxe edition of that. Last but not least, to end the video off, this long video, I have Black Cat, a movie I have not seen yet. And I was excited for it because I always saw the trailer for it. I thought it was a cool looking action, kind of like a noir film. 1991, my year. Comes with a book. It's a deluxe set. I think it has lobby cards, maybe the poster. Some features. And so that's that. I don't know if we'll get Black Cat 2. I kind of feel unsettling when you don't get a sequel release for these. So Casino Tycoon, Black Cat 2. I think we need those. So now that's my really too long of a part 2, but hopefully that helps somebody. If it helps one person to find out about these movies, that something they didn't know, or you see that that's interesting to you, and you kind of dive into the martial arts movies or Asian cinema. 88 Films, Eureka, even Criterion and Arrow are doing great things with Asian cinema now, going Korean, Japanese, and Chinese cinema. And there's just a lot to get from these, and the features and the books, and some of these never looked as good as they do now. Some of them never had a disc release, and it's nice to have these. So that's part 2, and currently I don't have anything on pre-order, so in due time I suppose I'll make another much shorter just run through of these movies when I get much more in the collection. So thanks for watching. Take care.